random, like the information is scattered, like jigsaw, like it's scattered. It's like you took the jigsaw puzzle and just smashed it on the ground, right? And you're trying to put it back together. And it was only like fit together in his mind, right? And unless you watched every freaking minute of everything he did, you couldn't actually like get the big picture that he had. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He had a really big picture view of all the maps and the shipping and shipping times and a lot of stuff. I've gotten a lot of stuff from him, namely like the circumnavigation of Antarctica being way too slow for what they say is how big they say it is. A lot of stuff. What's the other one? Now there's a whole bunch of shit he's done.
I mean, I have questions, right? I mean, he's not going to be around to answer these, but whether or not they discuss this on their video, I'm yet to see. But if you're going, there's a station in Antarctica, there would be a travel discrepancy from Australia to Antarctica, wouldn't there be? Look at how it looks here.
Oh yeah.
You have issues all over the place.
I don't know what that map is of. I don't think he's saying that's not the map where he says what the Earth quote unquote looks like. I'll give you that. It's the same thing.
I don't know. Maybe like I think
was like a preliminary thing. That wasn't like the actual.
You know what? I think it was. I don't know if it was Yoder that said that we had like more Antarcticas than just one. There was more Antarcticas.
I mean, that's possible.
Well, you know, because that other place would be considered in Antarctica, and then the other one would be too. But then, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how this works because it'd have to work. Our concept of where things are in our mind is based on a map. You know that, right? Like, that's how we perceive the Earth as a world map. We're trying to place things in our mind where they should be. And I think that's why we're getting this wrong. Even now.
Yeah, it's like, but that's where it comes into the coordinate system. Should be relative to what?
Yeah, exactly that, man. That's what I'm like. That's where I'm hung up. It's like, what are we basing it off of? Like the path of the sun, like the stars. Like
well, that's the thing. Like I know you've heard me say there's 3 different coordinate systems that are in use now. There's the magnetic coordinate system. There's the stars, and there's the sun. And you can create different maps using each one of those as your origin of coordinates, right? I can say, okay, I'm going to use where the sun rises and how the sun moves across the sky. That's going to be my reference. And I can make a whole map based upon that. Go around the world, look at the sun, see where it is, and make a whole map based upon that. Where the sun is my reference. Or I can use the stars, and then we got the latitude and longitude. Or we can use the compass.
One thing real quick.
Hold on, let me finish. Or we can use the compass, and I don't know if you've seen the map Yoder has shown with the magnetic north-south lines, the magnetic meridians, and then you get a map that looks like that.
Yeah.
So as far as what does it look like, they're really like I don't freaking know.
What I was going to throw in, I remember, but I had to go back and look at when he put out his final map of what he's saying it all looked like. He didn't claim anything about Antarctica. Now, I could be wrong. Somebody correct me.
Yeah,
I might be able to help.
Go ahead.
What's up? Hey, I might be able to help. What's going on?
What's your position? Okay, so did you follow Suberates' content? First of all, because we're
right. Yeah, I was watching him ever since he was on. But let me say something about what you were just talking about, which might help even more than what Suberates had to say. You said relative to what? Like, how are we keeping it all? You know, what's everything relative to?
Yeah, cohesive.
And, the prime meridian is kind of a thing that you can go by as far as what's relative. Everything relative to the prime meridian. But I just sent like 3 short clips of a video I'm putting together to anybody I knew in here. And if I forgot anybody, DM me. But I sent some DMs of unlisted cuts of my sessions with E1. I know Dave Hinkle remembers E1, and he's been figuring shit out for a long time. And what he seems to have figured out is they actually, well, you could say they moved the prime meridian, but actually what they did is they moved the continents. They shifted the continents by 33 degrees, no less. And the prime meridian should actually be right over Egypt instead of over Greenwich.
Yeah, there's a question coming up. Hold on.
When did they do this? Dave, when did they do this?
When the Admiralty took over, and it was all about creating the graticule, and they put out their, royal decree about nobody can make maps or you'd be fined and all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
so are you aware of the hold on, I just want to bring this up. A lot of people aren't aware of this. So when they did the North American datum 1927, they started from a central point, meaning they did use that one point, the astronomical coordinates to get its latitude and longitude, but then that's all they did, right? They surveyed out from there using that as the reference point. Now, when they switched from the NAD 83, which is the WGS 84 ellipsoid, they compared the two, okay? And all the benchmark markers, the markers that the USGS has stamped everywhere, stamped into the ground, they were all off systemically. So there's like a systemic error that started like in the Ohio River Valley. And then the benchmarks were too far apart or were too close together going east and getting closer together, right? So it isn't just like, they're 10 meters too close together. It was like 10 meters too close together, but after 100 miles or 20 meters, and then 200 miles or 30 meters too close. And going out west, it was the opposite, right? So it isn't just like, hey, there's like a slight deviation. It's the deviation increases as you get further away from this, wherever, Ohio River Valley. The point is that instead of moving the markers to the correct coordinate, they just changed the number.
Of course.
They just changed where it said latitude and longitude. They stamped a different number in the top of it.
Yep.
And that's kind of like reminds me what you just described, them moving the meridian. All they just got to do is stamp a different number. They don't even have to move anything.
Yep. And if it's just 33 degrees off, I think that's where the 33 comes from, actually, as well as for other reasons. But if it's just 30 degrees or 33 degrees off, you're not going to notice that much difference as far as like just the circling of the stars, but you're going to notice a difference with the sun's timing with the stars. It doesn't rise in the right constellation. So you're getting a 90-degree thing for a flat Earth that doesn't seem right, or just in general, it should be 90 degrees when it's globe or flat. It should be 60 degrees. And when you move the prime meridian back over the Great Pyramid in Egypt, the reason the Great Pyramid was built there was probably because of this, because they're starting the time there. And the sun then, the position of the sun then times up with everything the way it always did or should. And that's probably where Antonio's getting his weird readings from people from too.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. I mean, if you look at the graphic, like his longitudes, they're twisted. You see what I'm saying? Like that twisting could happen for all sorts of reasons.
Was he using an AE map? Or
no, he
like
constructed this from scratch. This isn't an AE map.
Did he have one pole or two poles?
I don't know how he constructed this exactly. I haven't read the book. It looks. Platter posted it in the chat. So Antonio, like when he was writing the book, he wouldn't tell anybody how he was doing it because he didn't want. I mean, what's happening right now. He didn't want the thing to happen that's happening with other people in their books. So he didn't want that to happen to him way back then. So he didn't tell anybody how he created the map other than very vague generalities. Is what I'm saying.
I think
in the book, it tells how he created the map, but the book that was posted is in Spanish, so you're gonna have to convert it to English somehow.
Okay.
That all being said, I haven't had a chance to look at what you sent me, but AB just posted something about that a little while ago.
Yeah.
Here, I'll scroll.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I don't. Are you busy?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean to take your time.
No, I'm trying to post an image. And I can't in here. So if I get perms for that, I can post some things.
I don't know how to do that. if we can even do
There was
that.
New perspective. There was a question that there was a question that Yoder was asking in the text chat. I don't know if you can see it or not. Like in the text.
Let's see. I'm looking on the side chat here.
So
you can DM me. Just DM me and fucking
yeah, I'll DM it to
my
you.
goddamn DM's
What
whining.
was the question, Yoder? Can you just say it to me and I'll
yeah. So he's asking, how do you measure distances off the prime meridian? I'm just reading that because that's what he was.
Yeah. Well, it's just 15 degrees for every latitude or longitude. You could go by that. There's, I mean, I'll put the map. I'll send the map to you right now that E1 came up with, and he uses 2 poles. The magnetic declination only works with 2 poles, and it's a transform. You know, it's a transform of the graticule or the.
Who sent me that, dude? I think
so. Everything works.
Root sent me that as well, but it wasn't. Do you have that, by the way? Did you send it to me? Is that what you sent?
I just sent you all the videos. I'll send you the map too if you want, but I'll send it to Indio right now, and you can.
But you know what's weird, bro? It's like it's getting kind of strange now that who's ever collecting information. It seems like they pass and then the information gets like lost. You know what I mean?
No. What do you mean? What information?
Well, like there's certain information, like speaking to Antonio Suberates, like he gets, kind of whatever happened.
Hold,
I don't want to say
memory hold or whatever.
Yeah,
deleted.
Exactly that. Yeah, it gets removed, deleted, whatever.
No, the people get deleted. A few people have been deleted, man. I don't know if you have been paying attention.
Then this is the scary part, right? Because like,
you mean like dead? You mean like because he died, he got deleted?
No, okay,
he's one. He's just one of them. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's Skiba, there's fucking.
I know. Jimmy Jedi.
Jimmy Jedi. Yeah.
Dude, we could go down the list.
What about Martin Lanke? Didn't he pass away?
Yep. I don't think so. I didn't hear
he was
did.
about to. I know he was really sick.
Nodell.
Really?
I mean,
who was the other guy? The guy. He made the space videos. He made. Oh my god, I can't remember the name. He did a bunch of videos about He made the Faking Space series.
Faking Space.
But he's dead too.
Archer or something, maybe.
It just like it's.
His channel just died instantly. Like there was no more videos. He's gone. I don't know if anybody knew him. He did an interview, I think, with Paul on the Plane and Mike Helmet, but then like it just like vanished. Just like after that, just gone. And he was coming up with like a lot of like the NASA bloopers bullshit that like.
Oh, dude, yes.
The Faking Space series, dude.
Bro, that's what I was talking about. I missed those videos. That's the exact video. Dude, I didn't even know the name of it, but I remember it was like a collaboration of bloopers, like ISS bloopers and that.
Can you share it in the chat?
Dude, it was everything. It was everything, not just bloopers, but camera, digital files, pre-render, shit they used to make fucking globes, all sorts of shit, dude.
I know that's true. But that's weird, right? So you mentioned that, bro. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I sent you the map, Indio, and I sent you his map layout. I'm redoing that. It's going to look a little different. It's the same
That's funny. This is just what AB was showing, man. What the fuck? Yeah. I'll post them both.
And I also sent you the GIF with how the light works, with the light spread for the sun.
Now, there's people that might disagree with that because they're still kind of like, yeah, dude.
Sure, of course.
No map is objectively true.
No map is objectively true. We can say that for sure, right? All of us can agree on that. And so,
some maps are better than others.
I'm partial to this one, though. New perspective. Who came up with this? That's fine.
This is E1. He's in the videos that I sent you. I'm doing sessions of interviews with him about what he came up with. And yeah, what he's figured out is that it's all electromagnetic. And see, the light gets spread by the electromagnetic field,
Bro.
right? How you have that's
Oh
how
my
you have
god.
enough light everywhere. So I made this GIF, and it just goes 2 times around each place, but it'd be 182 days, 182 days in the north, 182 days in the south. I'll post the explanation for this so people can
Okay.
actually
Okay,
get
but
exactly what this is supposed to be.
does that correct for the missing day, like in the Gregorian calendar?
If there's one missing day, well, that's interesting
Yeah.
because there's one day of transition. Half a day to transition to the north, to the south, and half a day to transition to the north. So it's 182 days in each hemisphere, and then there's one day split apart when it goes exactly on the same day, exactly at the same time. It goes to the south, and it's a toroidal field in each area that it rides on, and it's perfect, and it charges up in the south
Freaking
and
hell,
then
bro.
discharges in the north. It's an
He was
electromagnetic circuit.
okay. I'm because I'm partial to that. Like, there's a lot of people that might disagree with that one, but because we were talking about, like, there was a video by who was it that was talking about like what the sun charges up the the air, and it excites noble gases, and there was that explanation, but then it gets shot down by, like, that can't be the case, so I don't know, like, it being electromagnetic.
What's the reason for it getting shut down? Like, does somebody know?
Dude, I'm not and because, like, these are speculations, right? When we talk about, like, we need to follow whether or not, because we don't know what the sun is, right? But based on the excitation of noble gases, you can see different colors when it's charged up, whatever type of noble gas, like neon signs. So you get what I'm saying? Different types of noble gases.
That's exactly what he says. That's what he says. He says that the stars themselves, he thinks, are made of like some kind of material close to what do you call it? Mercury, and that they actually they may dissipate when the sun's out, and that there may not even be stars, because it's like a fluorescent light when it has the little mercury tube, and the mercury's in there. Well, it coalesces again after you turn it off, right? Back to where it was. And then when you turn it on, it dissipates, kind of like that for the stars, maybe. But that's where all the colors come from the sun exciting everything.
And, dude, like, it's just like, I think about it because, like I said, nobody really we don't know what the sun is, so there's no way to tell, like, for sure. But it just, like, if we're gonna lean in a direction, for me, that's where I would lean.
You can look at the GPs and have a model. I mean, he's done, like, and that's the thing about the 33-degree correction. It wasn't like they moved the prime meridian, because you can't do that really, because it continues on to be the international date line after it hits the pole. And then the international date line goes halfway north of north and halfway south of south. And it's just on a flat map, and it's halfway broken apart. And then what they did is they took the top and flipped it back, and the bottom and flipped it up, and then the sides and flipped them back, and gave you the illusion that it's a ball. But never the twain shall meet. You have like Point Nemo in the middle of that blue side of the ball. When you see the globe, it's like ocean, all ocean on one side, right? Well, that's just the outside ocean of the flat Earth. And they just pinned everything back, but all the coordinates are exactly the same. So Point Nemo is going to have like a very far southwest coordinate. And that's where it is, but you would never know that, because who's going to Point Nemo, right? And he said, if you look on the Navy Navy tracking vessels, you can see, like, there's a whole armada of ships, like, way out west and way out east, and they just sit there 24/7, and then they move to the south during the winter solstice when it's warmer down there. And whether they're just sitting there, like, guarding something or trading with outer ponders or whatever it is they're doing, you can look on the naval tracker and see all those ships out there. So it's just a matter of pinning the top to the bottom, and the international date line goes up north of the North Pole and down south of the South Pole. So if you go around south, around the bend around south, it's just like you're on the blue side of the ball, but you're just on a flat Earth going around one way or the other. And your compass reading is always going to take you one direction or another anyway, right? And the compass only points north, which is where the magnetic declination runs south to north. charges up in the south and goes to north, right? Well, everything that's where the latitude lines come from, and then the longitude lines come from that magnetic field, and the latitude lines come from the electromagnetic field that the stars and the sun and the moon and the planets all run on. And then the analemma is from the sun going over the toroidal field to switch to the south, and then it circles around that 182 days, and then it comes back up, and when it gets enough charge, it goes over the top of the toroidal field down to the other one, and that's where the figure eight analemma pattern comes from going between the toroidal fields that work as one unit as well. They're attached, but they're separate. It's like a perfect machine. And then the sun also does a figure eight, just because it circles both areas, but it doesn't do a figure eight every time it goes anywhere, you know. But that's not where the analemma comes from.
I mean, does he have like content on YouTube that people talk about?
He does, but right now, the sessions of us, I sent the short clips that are just straight cuts of me screen recording stuff. And I'm sending them out to all the cool peeps first before I put the final piece out as an unlisted thing. So everybody gets familiar with it. And it's not just like, okay, one and done, like, you know, here's the one video that you should see. And then it gets like, you know, dumped, or I get my channel taken down or something. You know, I just want everyone to have the information and start to figure out if he's right. Because he made a custom star chart wheels, right? He took the Weems and Plath. Anybody can get the Weems and Plath, which is like the most official star chart company that supplies all the professionals and the people doing nautical navigation and stuff. And those are two wheels, and you have a south and a north side, but they put it on the back side, so you would never be able to put them together to see exactly what's happening. But even just going by that, there's stars that deviate from each other. They run parallel through the celestial equator, and then they spread out from each other and go 360 degrees the opposite direction. So we have converging and diverging star trails, which debunks the globe better than anything right there. Even Stellarium shows you converging and diverging star trails. I mean, they have to say, oh, they don't. They stay equidistant. That's just a claim. But they have to show you what actually happens, which is diverging and there's two star trails next to each other, not on the globe. The globe doesn't even work with the star trails. And people have been bringing up the southern star trails as a globe positive, but it's always been a debunk.
Interesting. And a lot of people over the years have put out information to like solidify some sort of like idea of what people can put out there as far as like how things are above in the sky, like how do they work. And it just, I don't know, people can say whatever they want. It's just like, you know, when we have conversations in this channel, we're trying to ground people in truth and such, but you guys are doing work in another type of conversation with people looking into, like, you know, how the heavens move and how they could if the earth is a horizontal plane with the stars moving around, and you're trying to attach kind of like a model with this, which is what I'm saying that you guys, how big is your group, by the way? New Perspective, you and Ewan?
Well, yeah, for this stuff, it's just me and E1. He left the conversation early, like 2016, because he kept talking about the southern star trails. And, you know, all the flat earthers would say is stars move east to west, stars move east to west, which is true. I mean, through the celestial equator, but it wasn't enough because there's a whole lot of people that are, you know, attached to the AE map or thinking that the stars are a parabolic reflection or just a part of your personal dome. And you know, even a lot of ancient maps seem to show that it looks like it's one circle, but that could be because they didn't go to the south. They didn't need the south. They didn't travel there. They were, you know, geocentric, and they wanted everything to revolve around them for whatever reasons. You know, there's a lot of different depictions because even on the Weems and Plath wheels, you're going to have southern stars on your northern wheel, right? And they don't go 360 degrees around like the northern stars do, but you have to put them on that wheel because you can see them from the north. So if you're plotting, you're going to see some of those southern stars, and they're going to look like they're running parallel with the stars you're looking at. But once they get out far enough west, they're going to diverge from the stars that are actually in the north and go around and then sync up again right and converge again with the stars in the north through the celestial equator. So yeah, I'll put the, I don't know if I can't post it. And, I'll put his website and his YouTube on here for people to check out. Which, they don't include like the video that I'm putting together of our interviews, but I sent you the unlisted links to check out in the meantime.
Do you welcome people that disagree with the perspective that you and Iwan have been talking about? Like, I think in this particular matter, there should be a lot of disagreement.
On the reason. It would depend on the reason, because all he's doing is looking at data. He went to the nautical almanac and did all the equations and knows how to plot the stars. And there's a whole, you have to use the scientific calculator to figure out this stuff and get your amplitude. And he did the work to figure out how the stars work and how you figure out your plotting positions. So if someone has a disagreement, they could go and do the work themselves and then tell him why he's wrong. But he just, wanted to know how it works. And he seems to have figured out the way that the sun and the moon and the stars all coordinate with the right amount of time for direct sunlight in each area. Oh, what I was getting to was that they didn't move the prime meridian, they moved the continents, shifted the continents. So that's what brings up the two-pole graticule transform that people have problems with, because the sun wouldn't get enough direct sunlight on New Zealand and Australia and some of these other areas. So even with the electromagnetic pull of the light, it wouldn't work out quite right until you do that 33-degree correction. And then there's a lot of other things that come into play with the Great Pyramid, and then the alignment to other ancient monuments that seem to be also built there for the exact reason that we're talking about. Kind of the sacred geometry all lines up and everything.
Interesting. All right,
if people have technical, he'd like to know anything. He would like people to take his information and, build on it, or be better than him, or, even find things that are wrong, because he doesn't want to be wrong. It's not like, I just want to make it work for my theory. It's not just his theory. He's just trying to figure out how it works, technically. Here's his YouTube page. Put that in the chat, and I'll also put his website.
I mean, people can look at it if they want.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? It's just, I feel like just taking.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the videos. You'll have to just watch the videos. That would be the best way to go, is watch those and talk about it. I'll come back, or DM me back and give me any inputs or suggestions or questions. And it's not complete from what I sent. It's just snippets so you get the idea, and there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, I mean,
but people have problems with the travel times from Hawaii to New Zealand. It's just a coordinate system. It's the exact same thing, So there's no real way to debunk it if it's a coordinate system transform and it's got two poles. It's just like the globe but flat Earth, which is what they don't want. They don't want this at all. The ballers hate it. In fact, when I post this shit, they start talking the AE map up and giving it props and saying, "Oh, the AE map's the only way it could work." Like, okay, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Well, you're fighting against people who have been told that this is the only way that it can happen. So for a long time, because I think back in 2015, when this actually got legs, Flat Earth really got going on social media, that seemed to be the most dominant look for Flat Earth. For the one that actually took over from, I think there was the Pac-Man model and that sort of thing. So we have a lot of people that were bandwagon with this idea with the AE map. So you have people that have been trying to figure out what map, model or whatever. So
yeah. Well, it seems like this is too in your face, obvious when you look at it. You're like, oh, it looks like a globe. You're like, oh shit, no wonder they looked at that and saw that it's an electromagnetic field. And that's why the lines curve like a globe, because that's the way electromagnetic field lines work, right? So those are real lines for the latitude and longitude. It's based on the electromagnetic or magnetic fields. That's why the lines look like that.
New perspective. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Just to challenge you. How did they figure out what the magnetic field lines in relation to how anybody can figure them out? Like, how do they know what direction they are and how they bend? And like, what was the research behind that? Do you know?
The compass is the magnetic field lines, right? It goes north to south.
Yeah.
You can follow
Yeah.
along where the compass makes it go.
I get that much, but what I'm saying is, like, who figured it out and how do they know that's the exact way that they look? Like, in an overall kind of like a worldview perspective, because there's this kind of idea that we have these magnetic field lines in the ways that they are. So the deeper question,
like,
right? Because I don't know if you know what I mean.
The
Like,
magnetic field lines. Okay, so for the, like, on here on Earth, you have the North and the South Pole with the magnetic field lines that are the longitude lines that go straight from pole to pole. Now, those aren't real lines, in quotes, right? They're not real, but you just divide up the magnetic field into 15 degree increments. It's not like there's a real line that's on the ground that you can like mark and say this is 15 degrees from this line. It's just that's the way the field works, right? It bows out and then converges back in at the poles. So it's just that one kind of imaginary, but for the latitude lines, those are the star lines, or those are the star circles. And those are, you could call them real because we see the circles in the sky, right? We see the stars circling in two different circles in the south, counterclockwise in the south and clockwise in the north. Those are things you can actually just observe. So that's where those lines come from. But they break them up into convenient little increments. You know what I'm saying? It's not like every star is represented by a line. They use like 56 stars for their navigation, and that's what they used for the look of the latitude lines. But those aren't like real lines either. It's just a way of conveniently marking so that when you look at the stars, you can figure out where you are on the Earth, in relation to your latitude and the star that you're looking at and plotting for. So it's like a very useful way of using the stars.
How would you go about figuring out whether or not that would be the correct path of the sun? Like, I mean, that's a great way to.
One of the things you look at the GPS, right? The GPS aren't hard to figure out. Like something like Antonio was doing, where you have all the people that are looking at their solar noon, and this is what they see. They say they've figured out. You can look up the almanac and the GPS of the sun and all that. And he was cross-checking his stuff with the GPS and with GPS and stuff. And he's like, well, unless GPS is off, it seems to be about where it should be, So he's not claiming it's 100% accurate and would like to be able to make sure that it is. But it's accurate enough that we have a model, in quotes. A model is just a model. It's not the territory. But at least we know this. If I was in America looking at a star, and you use his custom star chart, then somebody in Australia could be looking up at the star they're looking at, and we could see if it syncs up with the way he's got the stars plotted. That would be a way to falsify it.
What was the map that he was using underneath the that GIF that you proposed? The one with the dual pole?
That's like that's the it's like a two. He came up like what they show pole gratitude transform that anyone can see. It's there's a lot of different names for them. But in the clip, one of the clips I sent you, he talks about that. I forget exactly the name of the one that looks similar to the one without the prime meridian correction, but that's just his layout with a 33-degree correction, so that the prime meridian runs over Egypt instead of or Greenwich.
So
I sent you some other things you could post to Indio.
Okay. I mean, I'm just listening to that, man. I can't put a stake in the ground for any of this stuff.
Nobody should. Everybody should just put it as like, you know what's great about this is it kills TFE, and it's gonna come out right before the documentary that they totally cut Whitson out of and make it seem like, debunk flat Earth and the flat Earther is now a glober, and but this is like, the southern stars actually debunk the globe, people, and the sun does move around goes counterclockwise around the south. And you're going to still see it rise east to west because all the land areas that you can see the sun at, you're still going to see it come around and go through the middle no matter which way it goes. If it's in the north or the south, it's still going to come up through the middle from east to west. But it sets south of west in wintertime. And that right there, if it's setting south of west in the wintertime and north of west in the summertime, that means it can't be going around in a circle. It's going two different directions when it sets. You don't have to go to Antarctica to see that.
I don't know, there's still a lot of stuff if we're going to actually do something seriously that people have to like consider a lot more information and especially go under heavy scrutiny by people who can internally critique them from a position where we've been looking at people proposing ideas such as this, which is what I'm saying. New perspective is just like you should be open to the fact that people will look into this and kind of think about it and maybe ask questions and not.
Absolutely.
I guess
That's
not
why
come
I'm
from
doing all the graphics. I'm making a better graphic with all the latitude and longitude lines marked and make it, so that there's all the information available when the video, comes out for the public. It'll all be there, and all those kind of questions can be answered without it being, bombarding and then chasing around people's questions afterwards. I'm trying to get a full package first.
Okay.
You said they cut Whitsitt out of the final experiment?
They're going to cut him out of the documentary, it seems like, yeah.
Oh, because he doesn't want to be like he has it in the.
Yeah, remember they worked
contract?
it out so that they had like final cut, and he thought like with Jared on his side and everything, it would work out that they could like have more say in how the whole thing turns out. But since Jared is pretending to be a baller or whatever he's doing, now it's like you can just cut Whitsitt out and act like Jaren's the only thing that matters, because Whitsitt didn't turn.
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, but they're going to be pulling some stuff this, dude. Like,
yeah, they're going to do something, and this is going to be the thing. It's like, hey, the final experiment had 3 flat earthers. What were the 3? There's only one that was shown in the documentary. So their little tactics and shitty things will always backfire on them because, like, no weapon forged against you shall prosper. They don't give a fuck about the globe. They're just trying to shit on flat Earth.
And if it is a 2-pole flat Earth, like it seems to be, it's just the sun, like if it goes around the south and goes around Earth, that's another data point that now has forced people. And E1 came up with, he knew there was a 24-hour sun way before TFE. It wasn't a reaction to that. But for anyone else, if it wasn't him, they have to then work that into the fact that we know we're not on a spinning ball. And it forced the hand. So it backfired already because we're going to figure out the true model. We can call it true flat Earth. That's what it was all about. True flat Earth, not the final experiment.
it's funny because people on the globe side, like, I have Bev. I don't know if you know who Bev is. Try thinking.
I do.
He's pretty, well, in this realm, he's pretty irrelevant, but he was saying that he's a real globe knower. I don't know why he said
that. Real glow, I hate him. Yep.
Yeah, so,
I've got a bunch of clips. You check out my channel. I've got a bunch of you on there, AV. If you watch my channel, AV, there's a bunch of clips of you on there schooling people. You don't know. Yeah. I provide like a flat Earth TV with like clips of you guys and whoever else seems to be entertaining during the day.
Yeah, dude. Now I'm laughing because he's always coming in. Well, he used to anyway. Come in here and just like, well, we know what the globe really looks like, and it's like, dude. I mean, he says that flat equals the visual surface condition. That's what flat means. Visual surface condition.
The word flat.
It's like that.
The word flat.
That's like
the definition of the word flat.
Yeah, it's like that. That could mean anything. What happened?
Hello. Yeah, because as far as I know, that the oldest civilization the first people to